Dirk Bogarde called his autobiography A Postilion Struck by Lightning. What would you call yours? Contestant number 1.
A book of light-hearted anecdotes.
Number 2?
Life waiting to happen.
Number 3?
A bum full of farts.
The lowest common denominator.
You're watching KYTV. Hello, welcome to another edition of Get Away With You.
Yes, welcome. Stay with us. Mike.
Thanks, Mike. We'll be going to the Bosphorus to sample some Turkish delight.
We'll be going to Holland for some Dutch courage.
And we'll be going to Spain to spend 2 weeks sitting on the toilet in a filthy caravan.
We'll be looking at holiday resorts all over the world, some of which are so off the beaten track that not even the Duchess of York has been there.
To help with some of your worries about holidays, we're joined as usual, live from the prestigious annex to runway 14 at Stansted Airport, by our consumer affairs expert, Lynn Foldsover.
Yes, I'll be giving you some of the basic safety tips.
And they are...
Don't go out in the sun, don't eat the local food, and avoid going in the water.
Good.
And above all, try not to travel.
Thank you. Well, some important travel advice there. Well, now it's time for our first holiday report, which an adapter now brings us from the south of France.
In France.
What's the best way to start a holiday? Bar none. Almost. It's actually the Bar Fortuna. Once you've handled the bars, what better than some handlebars? There are plenty of bargains to be found here, so certainly not goodbye to the goodbyes. Sir? Bored? Interested? The sands of time are fast slipping away here. But just time to let you know that this costume is from my own clothing company. And it's been specially designed to be worn during the menstrual cycle. I call a period costume.
She finished, yeah?
So, Anna, how much?
Well, I usually charge...
Yes, I meant for the holiday.
Well, for one person on their own, it's £260. But if you go with a film crew, it's considerably cheaper. For two people on their own, it's £200 each. For two people going together but coming back on their own, it's £190. And for two people going together but spending the second night separately, it's the same. For two people originally booking separately for two separate rooms, but then spending the second night together, then travelling back on the same train, but in separate seats and in dark glasses, then you qualify for our special end-away price of £175. No limits, reach for the sky. Get away with you on holiday.
Well, there's been a huge increase in the number of so-called activity holidays, which seem to incorporate an element of danger in their publicity. the north face of the Eiger on horseback, shark riding for children. And one of the companies most involved in this line of holiday, whose managing director is with me now, is Fingers Crossed Travel. And also with me is Joan Patterson of Worksop, whose husband recently died in just such an excursion. So, Mr. Johnson, how do you answer your critics?
Well, I think you have to look at the pros and cons.
What are the pros of being killed prematurely on holiday?
Well, very few, obviously, but I think you have to look at these complaints in the context of the numerous people who haven't complained.
Well, it's not surprising, they're probably dead.
Yes, but this has been blown up out of all proportion.
Just like my husband.
Just 1 second, Mrs. Patterson. Clearly there's a lot of controversy about your holidays.
Yes, well, I admit that some people didn't come back in quite the way they'd expected.
In a box.
Yes, but I don't think we can be held entirely responsible.
You killed my husband.
Well, just hang on there, Mrs. Patterson.
He murdered my husband.
Yes, but was it not D.H. Lawrence, I think, who said that for every murderer there's a murderee? Is that not your husband's role in all this?
What?
Someone who secretly desired to be murdered?
My husband didn't want to be murdered.
Well, why did he go on a holiday like this, then?
It was just a holiday.
Well, with a company called Fingers Crossed Travel on a holiday described as up the Amazon without a boat. I mean, it's not exactly safe, is it?
Well, we didn't think, you know, that it would be
Doesn't sound as if
safe.
you thought at all, Mrs. Patterson. If you had have done, perhaps this calamity wouldn't have occurred.
Here, here.
We didn't expect him to come back dead.
Well, you certainly got your comeuppance there, didn't you? So, thank you for joining us. I've got a clearly untrustworthy tour operator offering suicidally dangerous holidays on one hand and someone else willfully delivering themselves into his hands on the other. Thank God I'm me.
Our very own Right Reverend Wright has started a new venture in holidays, one with an ecclesiastical bent, and I don't mean it's for gay clergymen. I know, it's for one of several Christian break holidays, and I went down there to meet their maker.
Now then. Well, what I see us as doing here, Mike, is putting the holy back into holiday.
Why don't you put the holly back into holiday?
Very good, Mike. There are all sorts of games and activities here. There are donkey rides, a wet vicar contest, and just a little light religion.
Have a nice day, my son. Well, we know that young people are, well, we know that they're young people, actually. That's what we know about them. So we cater, of course, with them, for them. We don't cater with them. We're not cannibals. No, but we cater for them by selling these, our own particular brand of contraceptives. St. Johnny's, as I call them. Condoms with an ecclesiastical flavour. Not that I've tasted them myself, of course. I think one has to go for a week. After all, that's how long it took God to make the world.
He's my kind of guy. He's out of sight. She ain't heavy, he ain't tight. He's in the groove, doing right. He's right, Reverend right.
And every booking on the Christian break holiday is subject to confirmation. But Don't worry if you haven't been confirmed, because you are eligible for what they call their Super Saviour package, which includes free red wine with every meal and as many loaves and fishes as you can eat. Well, Anna has some handy holiday hints for you now.
Check to see if your holiday is abroad, as this will inevitably mean a journey overseas. If it is abroad, check to see which country, as many of them speak strangely. If this is the case, you will need a phrase book. If you're going to Spain, we suggest you buy a Spanish one. Always check to see that your passport has not expired. Use my simple 2-date test. Check the date on your passport and then look at the date on your ticket. If the first comes before the second, then it's expired. If it comes after, then it's okay, or valid, to use the technical term. When packing, make sure not to include any household pets. Quarantine laws can be very strict nowadays, and they'd be bound to show up on the X-ray scanner in the...
Okay, and that information and much more is contained in our special book, How to See the World for Just £5 a Day, available from KYTV's Sofa Shop, priced £29.50.
Well, when we heard you could rent a villa near Siena for just £49 a week, we couldn't believe it. And indeed, it wasn't true. The real cost being closer to the 500 mark. So we asked local tourist officer Gino Tardelli to explain its appeal.
La villa ha una bella vista sulla campagna toscana.
The villa has a beautiful view of the countryside of Tuscany.
La gente di tutte le nazioni d'Europa è stata qui.
People from all over Europe have stayed here.
Tedeschi, francesi, spagnoli.
Germans, French, Spanish.
E gli inglesi.
And the English.
Una nazione che io
A
personalmente
nation which I personally
detesto.
have the utmost regard for.
Efficiente, idiota.
With their love of fishing and yachting.
Una nazione di bastardi.
Nation of bustling, happy people.
Bastardi!
Always bustling.
Con il loro, oh, God save the Queen.
With their lovely royal family.
Bastardi, idioti.
Bustling on their yacht.
Take 2 large spoonfuls of treacle, add 3 pints of cream, then 2 peeled peaches. Mix in the whites of 2 eggs, then simmer gently for 3 minutes. Sweeten to taste and serve while hot. Then take 2 fingers and jiggle lightly down the back of the throat.
We go there.
We do that.
We go there.
We don't do that. We go there.
We never do that. We prefer this.
We always do that. Join the England Supporters Club. It's a lot more fun than the Champions League.
Well, I'm joined now by our Norwegian colleague Øyvind Vinstra, who's kindly agreed to tell us about the joys of holidaying in Norway. So, what is there to do there?
Well, Mike, there's basically Etterspart, Mattemudder and Hoodsleden.
They're popular, are they?
They're very popular, Mike, I believe, yes.
What about in the evenings?
Well, in the evenings, there's Etterspart and Mattemudder.
No Hodsleden.
Well, You wouldn't do that in the evening, would you, Mike?
No, I suppose not. What about for the children, then?
For the children, there's supervised sport.
Mm-hmm. Matamuda?
Don't think the children are ready for that, Mike.
Pardon my ignorance, Oyvind, but what exactly is Etterspart?
Etterspart is, it's very hard to describe, Mike, but essentially is two people sitting down and reading a book.
I see. And Matamuda?
Is whipping people around the genitals with birch twigs.
Well, thank you very much, Oyvind. So, mangatak, as I believe you say.
Mangatak tusen tack för jag har arbetat på en gård på en order i Lillehammer ett Trondheim.
Yes, thank you.
With you.
Well, something to look forward to next week when veteran holiday reporter Frank Boff will be returning from 2 weeks in Bolivia and giving us his snow report. Anyway, back to this week. Mike, I believe you and Anna took a trip together.
Yes, that's right, Mike. Yes, a wet and wild time cruising in Arabian night and day round-the-clock action holiday for the under-30s.
Under-30s?
Yeah.
Presumably they were talking about IQ. Anyway,
in Greece.
Well, it's 8 in the morning, so it's naturally time for our first drink. Cheers.
Well, it's midday on the first day, and I'm just burning the upper part of my torso.
Well, that's the end of breakfast, so it's off to the car and into the pool. Several excursions that the energetic can take, and I've just made my way the hard way up here to the top of Mount Shasta.
No receipt for taxi.
It's 11 p.m., so I'm throwing up with Karen and Tina here. And if you're too tired for all the nightlife, you can always relax in your room with a good book and a 28-centimeter vibrator.
It's 4:30 in the morning, and after an enjoyable shag, it's time to ask, what's your name, love?
Well, it's 3 weeks after the holiday, and I'm here at the outpatients of the local venereal disease clinic.
The cost is £270 a week, but that does include the full use of 2 secretaries from Sunderland. If you like fishing, snorkeling or scuba diving, then that's covered in the overall price. And if you like discos, day trips or wine tastings, then that's also covered. And if you like to take a tart up the Gary Glitter, then that's covered as well.
I'm sorry, I think we should have come out of that report slightly earlier.
Yes, I think we should have done. Round the opening line, preferably.
KYTV, we set the agenda.
Hello, I'm Kenneth Wolstenholme, and welcome to Violent Unsolved Deaths.
Yes, this autumn on KYTV sees a whole new series of crime and murder entertainment for all the family. Saturday Stabbing brings you a roundup of all the weekend knife-related incidents plus a chance to win this solid silver carving set. Murder on Monday. Each Monday, we're profiling a different murder where forensic skill helped trap the criminal.
The first thing we had to do was to get a picture of the victim's face. Unfortunately, we had precious little to go on, just this wee bone. But eventually we came up with this.
KYTV. We promise you a headlong chase for ratings at the expense of quality.
In Israel.
Where else could one find such idyllic surroundings with all year-round sunshine than here in beautiful Israel? Sun-soaked beaches, clear blue seas, superb cuisine washed down by some excellent local wine, and all at a price that won't burst your pockets. Yes, it's a tropical paradise that has to be seen to be believed. That is the simple, unspoiled charm that epitomizes today's Israel.
Good. Well, time to have a look at one or two of your letters. Alice Blake Thomas writes to ask which is the cheapest way to get to America. Well, air travel is certainly cheaper than going by boat, but by far the best value still, Alice, is deportation. This may involve committing a serious crime and even serving a small prison sentence on your arrival, but for speed and value for money, it simply can't be beaten.
Well, Nigel Waverley writes in to say, is Lisbon still the capital of Portugal? Well, interesting question. Well, theoretically it is, yes. And in practice it is too. So, thanks for that interesting letter.
Thank you, Nigel. Eleanor Strangeways writes in to ask how much does Mike Flex get paid for flying to Cyprus and interviewing a couple of hoteliers for 5 minutes. Well, Mike's basic salary is £45,000, excluding in public appearances, for which he earns an average $5,000 a year. And that trip to Cyprus took just over a day and a half, so on a pro rata basis, that works out at roughly £1,400 for, as you say, a 5-minute interview. Another interesting letter, Mike.
Yes, thank you. And Jim Sideways writes in to ask Mike what your hair weave allowance on this programme is.
Does he?
Yes, well, I happen to know that 5% of his annual salary of £83,000 is put aside for follicle implants.
Yes.
And that's an incredible £4,150 per annum.
Yes.
No doubt directly paid into his account at the Trichology Research Clinic.
Well, Mike, of course, is a great lover of animals.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. So, he'll enjoy our next report as an adapter trots off to find out about pony trekking holidays.
Well, I've got the kit. What now? Let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth, Lucinda Horton. Where do I start?
Well, first you have to mount your horse.
Heel smudger, heel smudger, heel smudger, heel smudger, heel smudger, heel! Heel smudger. Once you've gained control of the horse, heel smudger. Once you've gained control of the horse, once you've gained control.
Right, well, there you have it. So, all you need to do is dismount, and you take your feet out of the stirrups and swing your leg over the saddle. Whoa, Smudger! Right, something factory for you, Smudger.
Well, you might like to know that in the wake of Buckingham Palace being open to the public, you can now go on a Royal Tours holiday. For just £250, you can visit Sandringham and Balmoral, ride in the Royal Coach, open Parliament and get to sleep with Prince Philip. Well, the specialist holiday has always held a particular appeal for the hardy types among us, as Mike Channel now reports.
The specialist holiday has always held a particular appeal for the hardy types among us, as Mike Flex has just said. Hang gliding, then came paraskiing, then parascending, and now the latest craze, paraski-send glide diving. Piers Conley Bradshaw is the president of the Fatal Sports Club of Great Britain. Piers, tell us what this involves.
Gerald here is about to launch himself off the cliff edge, and basically, we'll sort of take it from there, really.
What happens if he hits the water when he's still wearing his skis and trailing a parachute?
Hang on. Gerald, what happens when you hit the water with the skis on and the old chute's still open, oh boy?
Right. So, has anyone tried this sport before?
Anyone tried this before, Gerald? 2 people have, yeah, apparently.
And have there been any fatal accidents?
Don't think so. Haven't been any fatal accidents, have there, Gerald?
Well, thank you very much, Piers, and good luck, Gerald. This week's competition has been set by myself and our man in New York, J.J. Sebastian.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Way to go! Yeah, that's right. JJ from the US of A, God's own country. In the groove, on the move, find a friend on whom you can depend. Mr. Mike Channel, my man, get down there, brother, and jive. How is your ass?
I'm fine. How's the weather with you at the moment?
Oh, my man, let me tell you now, what's good is good, what's fine is fine. It's beautiful people all of the time. Get with it and funk your way all over town. Get high on yourself, brother. Sister, get down.
Yes, it's a bit drizzly here at the moment, I must say.
So let's go with the action. You know where I'm coming from?
Well, America, presumably. I don't have any more detailed information as regards your parentage, but...
Pardon me?
That's all right, don't apologise. I'm sure it's not your fault. Anyway, let's get on with the competition. That holiday in New York can be won by you if you get these questions right. And let's have the first one from you, JJ.
Yep, Americans first, as always. Okay, old-timer. Question number 1.
Old-timer?
Who won the American War of Independence?
I see. Well, in that case, next question. What was Watergate?
Okay. Next question. Why don't the Brits get out of Northern Ireland?
Okay, next question. How come the Yanks got whopped in Vietnam?
Next question. Who bailed the Brits out of 2 world wars?
Final question. Oh, yes, and who was late for both of them? So that's the competition. Answers on a postcard, and you can win that trip to New York if you want to be murdered.
He's tough.
Okay, McCarthy! We got good!
He's unorthodox.
Put the gun down.
He's my crunchy. Every day at 8 a.m.
Join Mike Flex every weekday morning on Heart to Heart as he deals with personal and emotional problems in his own inimitable style.
Let's turn now to Gladys, because, of course, your husband died last weekend, which is no laughing matter.
Yes. After the war, my husband returned legless.
Great. Oh, I'm sorry, you mean...
Join Mike Flex, the sensitive ear of KYTV.
Imagine a Caribbean island fringed with palm trees. And imagine it is what I had to do, because I went to Club Vac in Torremolinos.
But you have, of course, had your share of trips to exotic places, haven't you, Mike? Like your piece on the birthplace of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes, although how was I to know he was born in Huddersfield?
In Spain.
Well, we've been in the air just over 20 minutes now, and one of the things I'm really looking forward to...
This is your captain speaking.
Oh. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to...
Our current speed in miles per hour is approximately 500.
Excellent.
And 50.
One of the things that I'm really...
And we should be arriving at Malaga Airport around 2 o'clock.
One of the things that I'm really looking forward to is of course,
Thank you.
lunch. And it's described here as seafood extravaganza, followed by a platter of selected meats. So,
Thank you.
what have we here? Well, this is the seafood extravaganza. This is the spam. Try and spoon. Wasn't hungry anyway.
Hello.
Ah, thank you. Excuse me.
Coffee, sir?
No, I was just wanting to
Thank
draw
you.
your attention. One of the other things that I'm... On the way to the hotel, although I had to go without the in-flight meal, the lady sitting behind me kindly showed me what I'd missed. And our friendly tour guide was a mine of useful information.
Don't forget with the ticket for every night, and must be blue with the Tuesday, and only Saturday for the lunchtime. Okay? Thank you.
Although, sadly, none of it comprehensible. On arrival at Camp Vac, I discovered that my room, whilst perfectly adequate for one, was a bit of a squeeze for 5, sharing as I was with a family from Norway. The first night disco had as little atmosphere as it did food, which is why I was so looking forward to the beach barbecue that followed. Well, I haven't actually eaten now in 24 hours. Stop off to this charming local restaurant. Not quite sure what any of this stuff is. I'll have the Denidos Eklodov. Denidos Eklodov. Is that relatively quick?
see. Yes. Good. Well, hopefully it won't be too long now, whatever it is. It's just over an hour now since I ordered, and, here comes my Denadorf Ekradorf.
All from this week's Get Away With You. Next week, Istanbul, Venice, Samarkand, Skegness.
Guess which one I'll be going to.
Coming soon to KYTV, a brand new channel. KY Gold brings you classic entertainment from yesteryear.